Hello everybody, welcome to Half the Human. This is Ghost. Over the last couple of years I have lost 200 pounds, or over half my starting weight. Obligatory disclaimer that when it comes to your health and any lifestyle changes you're considering making, don't take the internet's word or some random YouTube hosts for anything. The best place for advice on your personal needs is your doctor. And that, interestingly enough, is a decent transition into this week's topic, which is which diet is the best out there. There's just so many, too many to mention, from keto, paleo, carnivore, a lot of different shake type ones, specialty and novelty ones, a lot of people who focus on eating organic foods, vegans, vegetarianism, a lot of options out there for you. And I will just right off the bat say that the old adage rings true. The best diet is the one that you can stick to with the foundational knowledge, if you have watched the earlier episodes, that the foundation of weight loss is a caloric deficit. A healthy and sustainable deficit is to take your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, and subtract 500 calories to lose about 1 pound a week. With that said, though, the reason that there's so much going out there in terms of diet, so much options and so much bad options, bad information, is because this Yahoo article says that in 2020 and 2021, performance for the U.S. weight loss market during the COVID-19 pandemic and the forecast for 2022 in the current diet season, the value of the total market is estimated to have declined by a historic 25% in 2020 to $58 billion. So while it did decline, apparently, the total market value, or the total market of it, is $58 billion. So there is a lot of incentive for influencers, for companies to push, peddle, market their product. Bad information. There is a lot of potential for revenue and profit out there that makes it easy for people to take advantage of this insecurity that some people have, which is the primary reason I wanted to do this week's episode on this. Just to let you know that as long as your foundation is solid, i.e. the caloric deficit, that ultimately a lot of these diets out there are either just fancy ways to make money doing calorie restriction, or just messing with your macros, which is protein, carbs, fat, such as keto, for example, is a higher fat one and very low carb, or paleo, which is actually kind of similar to keto, but just as naturally more carbs are allowed in it. There's carnivore, which is primarily meat. Again, there's a lot of options to choose from, and therefore a lot of companies who want to take advantage of people trying to better themselves. But it can be interesting if you're going to go that route, go a specific diet, just because kind of the being part of a group of people all kind of accomplishing or with a similar interest or focus can be helpful in terms of losing weight or making things more fun, accomplishing what you want to accomplish. If you want to think about exercising, for example, there's a lot of different you can play sports like basketball, football, jogging, cycling groups. It really connecting with people who share that specific interest within a broader category can be very helpful and be very motivating to allow you to continue doing that. So in that sense, picking a specific group to attach yourself to diet-wise isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just like a lot of things, unfortunately, these days there's so much access to good and bad information that you should really research before you let a company, people, marketing teams take advantage of the specific of you trying to better yourself. And if you are going to choose a specific diet to partake in, like let's use keto as an example, just because keto in particular really has seemed to have blown up, keto or low carb in general, you may very well find that it is not for you. Maybe the fat focus or the lack of carbs doesn't satiate you enough, doesn't make you feel full. Maybe lacking the carbs makes you kind of just not feel right, which then you should totally stop what you're doing. Just the same diet is not right for everybody, or maybe you do keto and you feel awesome, which that is one interesting aspect of keto, is that there are a fair amount of reports of people gaining mental clarity while doing it, which is an interesting thing, but that just demonstrates that what works for one person may not work for another. So again, just if it's something you want to try, you can go for it, but not necessarily something you have to do. You can do whatever diet you want as long as that foundation that was mentioned before is followed. Here's an example of how each diet may not be for each specific person, or how a specific diet may be the perfect solution for each person. But again, that is a personal decision, and as the original disclaimer says, before undergoing any dramatic lifestyle changes, the best consultation you can have is with your doctor. But according to WebMD, it's about keto and diabetes, and it says that research suggests that people with type 2 diabetes can slim down and lower their blood sugar levels with the keto diet. In one study, people with type 2 lost weight, needed less medication, and lowered their A1C when they followed the keto diet for a year. If you're insulin resistant, which means you have higher blood sugar levels because your body isn't responding properly to the hormone insulin, you could benefit from nutritional ketosis because your body will need and make less insulin. So that really exemplifies how, for example, a diabetic may very well benefit upon discussion with their doctor from switching to a keto diet. But then again, some people do keto and maybe just don't feel right, or maybe the high fat aspect of the diet just doesn't interest them, in which case the one good thing about a lot of options out there is that there is plenty to choose from. And so you don't even have to necessarily target a niche, one of these specialty diets. There is nothing wrong with just the normal, typical balanced diet that fits within your calorie goals. But even then, an important aspect of it is finding what foods and macro combination works for you, because the goal is not necessarily to lose weight. The goal is healthy and sustainable lifestyle changes that naturally result in weight loss, because unfortunately a lot of people view it as a race to get down to a goal weight, and then they don't really learn nothing or develop those changes, so therefore it can unfortunately be easy to gain the weight back. So for example, when you're losing weight, it's important to find what fruits and veggies work for you, and while that is important because they're generally lower calorie, so you can eat more, they're nutritious, so that'll help with overall health and may help with hunger if your body's getting what it needs, so it won't necessarily feel like it's missing anything. Find what meats work for you, if there's meats, fruits, veggies, just whatever food combinations work for you that keep hunger off of you. Just that is the importance of the weight loss journey, is finding all these changes that work for you and implementing them so that you can continue them long term. And I think I've rambled enough, so thank you for tuning in this week. I drop new episodes every Sunday at 7 a.m. Make sure to check out next Sunday's episode on cheat days. I think is a good one. Subscribe to the channel. Your subscriptions, likes, and comments are important for me. We can grow this thing, but I can't do it without you. This is Ghost, and I'll catch you on the flip side.